Good morning, Bante. Good morning, Asha.
Morning, Bhante.
Good morning.
Morning, Bhante.
Saranai Bante.
Morning, Bante. Good morning, Asha.
Everyone, Saranai.
Everyone, Saranai.
So we start Arizona.
Morning, Bante.
Good morning. You open the metta recital.
Yeah, right here.
I can make it bigger. Okay.
Good morning, Bante Ji. Hello, everyone.
This is Asha.
Oh, I'm not in the picture. There I am.
Judy, I sent you an email. You received it?
I'm downloading it right now. Thank you.
You have a new office in the library.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, Bante Silan on the left, and we converted into a good office.
Excellent.
Yeah. So next time when you come here, you have good office.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, Momo. This is my new assistant, Asha.
Hi, Asha.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, Bhante. Hello.
Hello, Aisha.
Hi.
Hello, Aisha.
Okay, now shall we start?
All right.
Okay. Okay, let us begin with our metta practice. May all beings
be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds. Whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong.
Can you mute them?
Yeah, okay. Whatever living beings there may be.
Without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross, visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth, may all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hatred or resentment. Whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake, one should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision. Removing desires for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to birth in the womb. Okay. Just like other days, let us focus our mind on our meditation. Focus the mind on your breathing. Take a couple of deep breaths to notice the sensation of breath. As we breathe in and out, we notice the expansion and contraction of our lung area, abdominal area. So focus your mind on that. Breathe in, noticing expanding of lungs and lower abdomen. Breathe out, noticing contraction of lower abdomen and chest area. And keep doing that. As you do this, the breath slowly and slowly becomes subtler and subtler. And then the breath becomes very calm and relaxed. As the breath is calm, the body becomes calm And then the mind will be calm. With this calm state of mind, we continue to breathe in and out without verbalizing or conceptualizing anything. Simply let this happen and be aware of what is happening. As the body, mind, the breath are calm and relaxed, then our attachment to anything at this moment will fade away, because we only see them rising and falling. In this rising and falling activities, we have no space for clinging. And then that gives us more freedom to experience peace. There we experience with this peace, with that we breathe in and breathe out. And then whatever rigidity, uptightness, resentment or anger arises also fades away. And then we feel metta feeling. We feel that we all are one. Especially we know breath is the common denominator of all living beings. And we all are, in that sense, one living, breathing unit. When we have this feeling, our metta feeling also grows, becomes stronger and stronger. Then, when everything is calm, relaxed, peaceful, it is possible for us to fall asleep. And we want to overcome sleepiness and drowsiness by arousing our energy. This is very precious moment. We don't get that much precious moments to practice mindfulness meditation. Once we got it, we must appreciate it and become more enthusiastic in practicing it. Make the best opportunity of that moment. And sleepiness and drowsiness fade away. And then the opposite of that arises, that is restlessness and worry. We might be restless regarding what we are going to do after meditation, or worrying about things that went wrong or could not accomplish. And that also must temporarily be suspended and bring the mind to the present moment. Present moment is not a static moment. Present moment is not fixed. Even the present moment is moving, fading away moment. Then when the mind focused on that, restlessness and worry also fade away. Seeing all these benefits, these results in our own experience, we gain confidence in the practice, confidence in the teaching, confidence in our own ability, then our doubt fades away. Once these are out of our way, then the mind is very calm, relaxed, more peaceful, and gain concentration. This concentration is not very deep, but sufficient for our practice. In this concentrated state of mind, we notice very subtle changes of our feelings, perceptions, thoughts, consciousness, the breath, and all these are constantly moving, changing in a state of flux. And when we see this, our greed, resentment, confusion all fade away, and that is a very beneficial moment, and we try to achieve that following these very short instructions. All this may not happen very quickly, but gradually we can see them happening, and then we stay with that. With this, I like to stop talking and let us try to do this practice. And you practice, and you may not remember all of them, but this is the sequence that takes place when we practice mindfulness meditation. recital. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya dukkha pattaca nidukkha bhaya pattaca nibbhaya Soka pattaca nisoka hontu sabbe pipanino bhavagupadaya aviti ettato ettantere sattakayupapanna rupi arupi ca asanya sanyino dukkha pamunchantu pusantu nibbuting. By means of this meritorious deed, may I never join with the foolish, may I join always with the wise, until the time I attain Nibbana. May the suffering be free from suffering, may the fear-struck be free from fear, may the grieving be free from grief, so too may all beings be. From the highest realm of existence to the lowest, may all beings arisen in these realms, with form and without form, with perception and without perception, be released from all suffering and attain to perfect peace. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, friends, as I mentioned yesterday, if you have any question, I have not received questions in advance. It is time for you to ask questions now. I can write on the computer. What do you call that?
The Zoom chat. You can send us a Zoom chat.
Yeah. Or Zoom chat. Any question? In the past, here is a question.
All right. How to avoid getting stuck at PT level in meditation? Thanks, Bhante.
How to avoid?
Getting stuck at PT level in meditation.
At PT level. Yes, when PT arises, that is very pleasant. It is very enticing. So we want to have not that kind of temporary peace, temporary piety, but we want to have more permanent piety. That happens when all our mental, psychic irritants are overcome. Now, even the piety, when we attain the jhanic stage, it says, by overcome joy, one attains and dwells in the third jhana. That is when joy arises, piti arises, we must understand even that piti is temporary piti. Even that piti is impermanent. We don't say this in words, we don't conceptualize. We can pay total attention to the piti state and see it changing. Piti state also doesn't stay permanently. It is durable for a certain period and then it fades away, disappears. And in other words, with the vipassana meditation, I mentioned it earlier, when we practice vipassana meditation, one key factor of vipassana is to see things changing, impermanent nature. As we mentioned, impermanence is not created by somebody. Buddha did not create it. It is there whether the Buddhas come into existence or not. Impermanence is there. That is why it is called established Dhamma, law of Dhamma, element of Dhamma. Established Dhamma is impermanence, law of Dhamma is impermanence, established Dhamma is impermanence. Things are changing all the time. And therefore even the piti that arises is changing. We see this happening and then our mind, without getting disturbed, move on to equanimous state. And that is where we can see suffering, selflessness. When we are in piti, it is possible for some people to keep enjoying it without moving on. That is the time we have to be this is a very delicate moment, so it will slowly fade away. That is how we have to, don't deliberately force yourself to get rid of piti, but just focus your mind and then it fades away. What is the next question?
Bhante, can you explain the right amount of detachment?
Right amount of attachment?
Detachment.
Detachment. Detachment is happening also very naturally when we see the reality, when everything is fading away. There is no sort of amount of degree of detachment, but it naturally happens, and the senses will be very alert. So detachment has no we can say degree. Right amount of detachment is the detachment that keeps us in the balanced state or equanimous state of mind. It is not anything negative, it is all wholesome, positive mental state. I cannot say the right amount, but I must say that detachment is most important step. Viraga, detachment is the last state of attainment in our practice, and we said even practicing Bojjhanga, Vivekanisidhan, Viraganisidhan, Nirodhanisidhan, Vasagga Parinami. So our main thrust is to develop viraga, detachment, for anything, to get peace. So don't try to make it something negative. The next question.
All right. When the Buddha talks of the five aggregates, plainly the body falls away with death. But is it consciousness that survives in some changed form to be reborn until all karma is resolved and the consciousness finally dissolves too?
Yeah. Consciousness is not reborn. That is a wrong belief. Even in the time of the Buddha, there was a monk called Sati. He believed that the same consciousness goes from life to life. And when Buddha heard about it, he called Sati and reprimanded him. He said, don't say that. That is what you call eternalistic view. In extreme, there are two extremes, nihilism and eternalism. The Buddha's teaching is neither nihilistic or eternalistic. It is realistic. In his reality, he says consciousness arises depending on volitional formation, various activities. Consciousness arises when that activity fades away, consciousness also fades away. Consciousness arises through our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind, depending on the sight, sound, smell, taste, touch and thought. And therefore when those sight, sound and so forth fade away, that particular consciousness fades away. So therefore it is dependently arising and dependently passing away. So it is not the same consciousness that goes from life to life. However, consciousness becomes the seed of our karma. When one moment of consciousness fades away, it leaves its potential power behind, and that also is subject to changing, disappearing. This is a very quick appearing and disappearing phenomenon. And therefore we cannot say the same consciousness is reborn. It's a wrong concept. Another question?
Bhante, my mind keeps fluttering like a banner in the wind, sometimes when I sit down to meditate. What strategies could I use to overcome this state? This mainly happens when I've been communicating with a lot of people on the day. As a layperson, it is sometimes difficult not to talk and listen to other members in the community. Thank you.
Now, you brought out two things. One is mind cluttering during meditation, and the other is when you are engaged in social communications. These are two things. When you are engaged in talking and discussions and so forth, become actively participating in social communication, then it is possible for the mind to move from object to object. But in meditation, we can use that, mind that is cluttering, like as you said, like a banner on the top of a mountain that would be always moving here and there. That kind of state of mind we can use as an object of our meditation. For instance, that's a very good example for you to remember for impermanence. That is the nature of mind. Mind is always in a state of movement, motion. It is just like a fish out of water, struggling, moving. That is the nature of mind. So when we see this, that shows how quickly mind is changing, how quickly your experience is changing. This quick change is what we call impermanence. So mind does not stay in one position, on one object. It always rising and falling, depending on the desire. That is the nature of desire. My desire's nature is delight and clinging. Delight this moment and try to cling to that, and then leaves it, then goes to another object, and there it tries to hold on to it, then it delights there, and then you try to cling, and that is the nature of desire. So mind is wandering from place to place, subject to subject, person to person, situation. That is the nature. So long as we have a desire, this happens. So we understand this very nature of impermanent nature of the mind. And that's a very good subject for mindfulness meditation. That itself becomes mindfulness meditation, and then your mind naturally calm down and see the other changes also taking place in your mind. So many things are happening in the split second, so many things. You feel, your thought arises, feeling arises, perception arises, your attention arises, consciousness arises. All of them arise and pass away, arise and pass away, arise and pass away. You cannot isolate them. Any of them. You cannot isolate any of them. They are always cluttered, clustered, jumble, moving. And this is the nature of the mind. And we focus on it, and then they slowly fade away. And then you will see inner changes of our form, feeling, perception, thought and consciousness, inner changes in a very, very subtle way. You never find anything still or fixed. So whenever your mind is wandering, you start focusing on that wandering state, but don't try to increase them, don't try to enhance them, bring in more and more objects. But just notice that very nature of mind without verbalizing, conceptualizing. That's a difficult thing, but not impossible. We can do that. Okay?
Dear Bhante, when the world is going through a crisis like COVID-19, does it cause any negative or positive impact on all meditators?
Yes, sometimes, especially when this virus is going on in the world, that gives meditators an opportunity to be more mindful in their movement, in their talk, in their association, in dealing with people, practicing compassion, understanding. And for us to develop all this virus helps. That means we know that it's a very dangerous, life-threatening virus, and therefore we have to be very mindful of for not that spread. Many times people are careless, unmindful, and so they make it worse. So it's very good for people to be very compassionate and be mindful with some deep understanding, lot of patience to deal with this COVID-19. People who have been following meditation, mindfulness, practicing compassion, loving friendliness, understanding, they make a real, sincere effort to reduce it and not to get themselves affected by the virus. So also I noticed more and more people have time to practice meditation. There are various social activities, many hundreds and thousands of various activities have been reduced, and therefore they have time to meditate, to understand the what you call unpredictability of our life. It is so fragile. Anything can happen anytime. That is, we have to think of spiritual urgency. That's called Dhamma Sangvega. Dhamma Sangvega means knowing the true nature of life. We must accelerate our practice. That is called Dhamma Sangvega. Vega means speed. Sangvega means additional speed. So if we were sort of negligent, we just were complacent, not taking practice seriously. Now, during this COVID-19, we must accelerate our practice, because we don't know what time it will affect us and we'll die. So since we have this healthy moment in life, we must practice it. And out of compassion for others, we must practice it. So the mindfulness practice or meditation practice is very important during this time. And I know many people get involved in meditation, and we must take the advantage of this very dangerous situation to develop our mind, practice meditation, practice our compassion. Just this virus does not recognize the status of people. They may be in highest status in the society, and still this virus can affect them. Just like as someone in the lowest rung in the society would be affected. And therefore, we are fragile, unpredictable, health is very in a precarious situation. Considering all these things, we must try to develop our mind, take the advantage of this COVID-19. Yeah. Next question.
Dear Bhante, why is it so easy to become addicted to unwholesome habits, like indulging in the internet? and so difficult to cultivate wholesome habits, such as discipline, good time management, and regular meditation?
Yeah, that is the nature of our mind. It is very easy to get involved in the wrong things, unwholesome things, harmful things. Very, very easy, very easy. And that is why we need to have effort to restrain ourselves. I mentioned it the other day when I was talking on Virya Sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of perseverance or exertion or effort. So we have to make effort to restrain our senses. Now, internet sometimes certain items we can see very beneficial. Like we have very good educational Dhamma talk on internet, YouTubes and so forth. And we have, if we use the YouTube, internet, we must be selective. Instead of spending online for watching all kind of useless, meaningless, harmful things. So then you make a habit to select what is meaningful, beneficial, and not to get involved in harmful things. So internet in itself is not bad, just like our body. Our body itself is neither good nor bad. Whether it is good or bad depends on how we use the body. Money. People use money. Money in itself is not good or bad, but the way how we use it, make it good or bad. Similarly, internet per se is not bad by default. It depends on how you use it, and therefore I would not totally say internet is something unwholesome or bad, depending on something, on our state of mind. So we have to determine how to develop our mind, wholesome things in our mind, and overcome unwholesome things, using our restraining, overcoming, cultivating, and maintaining. These are the 4 types of effort I mentioned the other day. So we have to use that. We have time for one more short question.
When in meditation, an intention is disrupted by some outside noise or a thought in the mind, how to get back to the breath immediately?
Yes, when you notice outside noise, even the noise can be used as an object of mindfulness meditation, because when you hear a sound is not something fixed. It is moving, sound waves after waves after waves of sound hitting your eardrums, and you can notice them arising, reaching the pitch, and then falling, arising, reaching the pitch, and falling, and so forth. Even that we can use mindfully to understand the changing, impermanent nature of the sound. So, there you pay attention to the inner mechanism of sound, which is changing all the time, impermanent. So your mind naturally stays on the course, it stays on the track, if we understand how to use the mind to develop your insight. Insight comes from seeing the truth, and therefore all the distractions have the same truth, or unwholesome things also have the same truth. They are not something permanent. They are arising and passing away. So I think it would be very meaningful if you use them rather than trying to run away from them. Use them, see the reality. The problem is that you get carried away with them without using your insight, mindfulness to use them as a part of your practice. So with this, friends, I like to end this session. I think there may be many more questions, but these few questions that you asked are also very good questions, and keep thinking, writing questions for the next time. And next Saturday I give another talk on the remaining factors of enlightenment. 2 more factors, 3. Passadi, Samadhi, Upekka. These 3 factors of enlightenment are still there. So we discuss them from next Saturday onward. And once again I want to end this session with wishing metta, sending metta, wishing well-being and happiness for all living beings. As we mentioned the other day, even yesterday, there are many people who have lost their loved ones. Unfortunately, some people living in America came to this country from other countries, and when they hear their relatives passed away in their own country, these people cannot go there to participate in the funeral and to share their sorrow because of this COVID-19. And we want to wish them have peace and understanding the situation and understanding the nature of life, understanding when something like this happened, that we have to console ourselves thinking of the current situation. And then understand Dhamma, practice metta, practice meditation, mindfulness. All this will help them to reduce their grief and sorrow and pain. And especially we all become helpless in situations like this. May they have insight, wisdom to understand this and relieve their pain. There are many people, patients in hospitals, taken care of by very compassionate doctors, nurses, and hospital staffs. May they recover very quickly and return to normal life. And those doctors, nurses, and other hospital staffs dedicating their lives, sacrificing their comfort to help these people, we want to wish them be free from this virus for their own benefit and for the benefit of their own patients. And may they live long in very good health. There are many people who are financially supporting them to continue their work. Let them continue their generosity out of compassion and be free from this virus and live in good health. And there are many leaders who are taking very meaningful leadership to support them. They are going sometimes to meet these people, to console them, and that is a very wonderful, compassionate things. And may they continue their work to benefit all these people, and that they too live long in very good health by their own noble practice. And others who have not been able to help people like that, even though they have ability, may they have wisdom, understanding, courage and determination to make right decision at this very moment to help these people out of compassion. With this, I want to end our session, and I thank you all for participating in this session. Today I see more people than yesterday. I think many people even did not know that we started this session again this year, and I hope more and more people join us for their own benefit and for the benefit of those who cannot join us. With this, I like to end the session, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Bande.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you, Bante.
Thank you,
Thank you, Asha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Bye.
Thank you, Bante.
Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bante.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bante, nice to see you, Bante.